we don't sit down and talk to each other.
Even like psychology says that you need to touch a woman like 37 times or something like that.
Then it comes to like social norms or what's expected.
For us, we were brought up here, so it's like expression, freedom of speech, you know.
Because depression can come anytime and anywhere.
Hi guys, it's Jasmine here. Welcome to another video on OromoTime, and today we're going to be talking about mental health. So join us in this chat, and yeah, we're going to introduce ourselves.
Yeah, my name is Abdullah ibn Mas'ud.
I'm Rahma.
I'm Badri.
I'm Kamara.
Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe.
No, but
But
you know what it is, yeah.
innit?
Yeah.
But you know, even on Clubhouse the other day, they were speaking about flaws. I don't know, someone said it here.
Flaws like grown.
Flaws like
Oh,
that
flaws.
someone has to deal with.
Yeah.
And then someone said, oh yeah, like sometimes I just shut off.
Yeah.
Like completely shut off. I think it was you, Kufa, I can't lie.
What me?
But I think it was, but basically they said they completely shut off and they just don't speak to anyone and just completely shut off, like they don't want to communicate with anyone. I feel like that's their way of dealing with it.
But do you know with that, what people don't realize is maybe what you're going through is making you do that. Like, obviously I'll go into like my situation later on, but people that are depressed and people that have like symptoms of mental health, they don't realize that actually it's the illness that's making them do these certain things, and you justify it by thinking it's just you. Like, for example, obviously, okay, then I'll just go into my situation now. So I was diagnosed with anxiety, and towards the end I became socially withdrawn. But then for me, I was like, oh, it's better for me anyways. Like, I go out, I've been around, I do the same thing. Do you know what I mean? I justified that. But really, it was my mind. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's something that people need to watch out. Is it really you, or is it what you're going through that's making you think that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's true. But also, like with the whole mental health and like depression or anxiety or all these things, where do you think it comes from? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, where do you think, is it something that's just in our mind, or like as Oromo say, oh, it's just jinni, this, that, like it's not really, evil eye.
That's such a problem, you know.
They say like, but where is it coming from? Like,
you know, like this stuff, like, you know, supernatural, whatever, like evil eye or stuff like that. It just comes from, you know, old age. Like, it's been said that, like.
Do you know what it is? I feel like they resort to that because they don't have any other explanation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like here, it's because they've got scientists, psychologists studying it and trying to come up with conclusions, treatments and whatnot, and studying it. So I feel like for them, that's all they know. If somebody's like exhibiting any type of symptoms of like mental health, it's it's sihr, or it's evil eye, or it's jinn.
But don't you think partly it has to do with that though?
It's a curse.
Partly, for me, I feel like when there's different type of mental health issues, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes there's people who do certain things without knowing. So what's making you do these things? Do you know what I mean? Like they would like have voices in their head or whatever, and they're doing certain things. I don't think personally. I think there's something way bigger than that behind it. It's not just nothing comes from nowhere. Do you know what I mean? So it could be a jinn, it could be evil eye. I feel like when it comes to evil eye, I feel like it can actually have such an effect on you, like a massive effect on you, to the point where it can actually make you mentally ill. Like, do you know what I mean?
But I feel like that's why if you're going through something like that, you should seek and try everything. Because even with therapists, they'll tell you, like, it's called a holistic view, where they try and see all perspective, like what like all these different factors that could come in play, like what caused it. They'll look at your environment, your biological side, they'll look at everything.
Yeah, they'll get you talk about your childhood, everything.
Yeah, in terms of treatments, I feel like that's what, if you need to try get somebody to read the Quran on you, try everything. Because at least you're eliminating every single possibility there. Do you know what I mean?
But also, I don't think so. I don't really agree with your point, you know. But because there's so many Muslim people that are, you know, completely on the deen, you know, on the sunnah, pray 5 times a day, read the Quran, all of that, hifz, but they still struggle with mental health problems. How's that the case?
I mean, no one's really perfect at the end of the day. It can still come to you, even if
It still
you're-
comes to you, but
yeah.
the thing is, it's
even
like,
if you're the most religious person, like.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Even like religion shouldn't be part of it because
And that's
anyone
when
can get
yeah.
it. You get
But
it.
even like when it comes to like you being depressed or anything, like, it's the little voices in your head. So where's that little voices coming from? Do you know what I mean? That's what I try to understand these things, but I can't because the little voices. Who's that? What's that?
Oh, that's you.
That's not you, bro.
That's
That's
you.
something. That's shaitan.
Yeah.
That's literally shaitan. The little voice is when it's telling you bad things or you look at you. You're
How does it
ugly.
sound
You're
like?
this. Da, da, da.
How does it sound like
No, it just
in your head?
it doesn't have a voice.
No, everybody's got that. Everybody's got that in their head.
Like
It's
an inner
con-
voice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone's got
everyone's
like an inner
that.
voice. Where
Like-
you sit there, question
But
everything.
even
Right.
that's the whispers of the shaitan. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Especially when it comes to bad
being
things.
No.
I think. That,
Share facts on that.
okay.
Like, let's say right now you're looking at yourself in the mirror, okay, and then you get voices in your head, oh, you're ugly, oh, you know, stuff like
What
that.
does that sound like?
You know,
You, wallahi.
no.
When I look
It
No,
comes,
no,
it comes
let him
from
finish.
society, you know that, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you yourself know the expectations of beauty, you
Yeah,
know, so,
okay.
and if
You've
you
got a
don't look
point.
like that, then you start talking to yourself in your head, you know what I mean? Start saying stuff, but really you don't know, it's just psychologically coming, you know what I mean? The brain is so powerful, you never know. So that's why I'm saying most of everything like anxiety or, you know, stuff, it's mostly because of, you know, society, you know? I feel like, because
Okay, but there's like been evidence of like biological contribution to depression, like they look at genetics and whatnot. Do you know what it is? I feel like if these psychologists themselves really found like the underlying factor, they wouldn't still be guessing. It wouldn't be a guessing game. Do you know what I mean? Because now they've got to sit down and talk about social factors, psychological, all of this stuff. But I feel like in the Muslim community as well, I feel like mental health is something that needs to be addressed and spoken more about.
100%.
Because I feel like there's like total misconception. Like there are people that will be like, oh, you've got it because you're not praying.
But
Or
it's true though.
You've
It's
got
true.
low iman.
No, I don't.
It's true. 100% it's true. There's nothing in this world that a prayer cannot take from.
The prayer can cure
It can cure
Of course.
everything.
100%, but you can't tell somebody you've got. Okay, how do you explain her the way that she said that there are religious people out there that are struggling with mental health that are praying 5 times a day?
Okay, you can pray 5 times a day, but obviously Allah only puts you through certain things so you can come more closer to Him.
There
Do
you
know what I
go.
mean?
There you go. So you can't go ahead and tell somebody, oh, you've got this because you've got low iman.
No,
Maybe
no,
this
no,
is
no,
your
they,
test.
no, they
You
don't say
believe-
you've got low iman. Basically, what it is people tell you pray on it, make dua, read the Quran, read certain ayahs. Do you know what I mean? So it can help you.
And that's the
with-
right thing to do. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's for me personally. That's better than going out there talking to a random person or therapist. Why can't I talk to my God? Do you know what I mean?
Totally, but guess what? In the Quran, it also says that you should seek all possible help or whatever medically. Is literally advised to do that. Like every illness, like God's obviously got a there's treatment plans out there for it.
But
You know what I
when
mean?
it comes to
And when it comes to like even our prophets, they've gone through like trials, and there's a prophet that's been through anxiety. The only thing is that is the term that they're just not using the word anxiety or they're not using the word depression. Every single society they've got a word for it. Do you know what I mean? Or some societies don't because they don't want to acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? So like there's these trials, like they're literally in the Quran, and maybe you going through the mental health issue that you've got is probably your trial on earth. Like she said, it could bring you closer to Allah, and for me it did. 100% it did. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
But I feel like not everyone has that. You know, how about the people that
I don't believe it.
they are non-believers, like they don't always, you know, they can't really resort to that solution.
Yeah, I feel like that also comes down to what you believe in, innit? For me, I have a religion where that for me is the way of life. That's how I have to live my life. From my religion. And certain people, they might believe in different things, whatever. And if that works for them, good for them. But this, for me, this is what works for me. My
And
religion is what
something
helps
else
me.
that people don't realize is when you're in a state of depression, you can't even leave your bed. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
you're mentally just not there. So how can you pick yourself up and pray? It's easy to tell somebody get up and pray, and that's the right thing you should do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you being depressed, you can you're literally clinically depressed if you can't do the normal day things that you're supposed to do, like literally get up, have a shower, like the little things that we take for granted and we go about our day like it's normal. They can't do that. They can't get out of bed. You know what I'm saying? So how should that person go about it?
So what do you guys think is the best help for someone who, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's suffering for this?
I feel like prayer, you know, I feel like it helps,
Prayer helps.
but
definitely talk to each other. You get
But
it.
for people
talk to
that
someone.
have unresolved trauma, I feel like therapy would be right for those people, because it's like you need to speak about it to kind of get that out of your system.
Mhm.
Do you get it? Because I feel like prayer it's like I don't want to make fatwas out here, you know, it's like it kind of helps in terms of reducing the pain, the problem, but you cannot completely get rid of it. Do you
Yeah,
get
you
it?
can, because this
I
problem.
No, I don't think
No,
so.
the thing is, let's say you're depressed or whatnot. The reason you're depressed is because Allah said you're gonna be depressed. So how can you say that talking to someone will help you more than the person who gave it? That person can take it from you. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
So if you talk to
But-
Allah, he can.
But why, correct me if I'm wrong, why would it be advised to go seek medical help?
For what, depression?
Yeah.
It says that in the Quran. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
does it?
Like Allah literally says that every illness that He brings onto the world, He's got a treatment for it.
But I feel like mental health, it has a lot to do with yourself and in your head.
Yeah.
Mainly, it's not like something that physically like you're hurting or something
But
like
that's
that. do you know
another
what I mean?
But it's
misconception
like-
people have.
it's
Like
Yeah,
it
it's
is
like-
physical too.
Yeah, but as well, like that's
You
the
get
thing.
stomach aches, you get dizziness, you get headaches. That's something else
Yeah.
that people don't know about. Like I go through that with my anxiety. Like you literally have all of that. You have diarrhea. It's literally like it's not physical pain because people don't see it. It's not like cancer. It's not
like she said
a
before.
broken leg.
Like she said before. What is that thing that's in my head? Like you know that sound. Thing.
Mhm.
So for example, if you talking to like therapy and stuff, they will tell you, oh, you're feeling like this because of like this happened to you. Maybe like just by them asking you about your past, maybe like you know what you go through or like this, or like about your family. They won't even say what you're going through or anything, but like about your family, how you are, how close you are, or how close you you know with the other people and stuff like that. They will check all of that, and that's where they will tell you, oh, it's only coming from that, and you need to start like maybe like and start talking to your mom or like you know
The
No,
get
the
close
thing-
to this.
yeah.
They will just I think
The thing is, I totally agree with going to therapy, like 100%. Like, but I'm saying the main source for you should be
God.
turning to your God first.
definitely.
That should be the first thing you do. But going to therapy, everything, I completely agree with it. Me myself, I would go to therapy. Do you know what I
And
mean?
you know what it is? I feel like with people don't understand with therapy as well. They can never really get to the right source. Because if you think about it, you're sitting there explaining your whole life to them. It's like a guessing game. Even with the medication that's out there, do you know what it's for? It treats the symptoms. It doesn't get rid of the problem. Therapy is similar. So like if we said prayer does help, but even therapy, I don't know if it works for some people, but I know it doesn't work for some as well. Do you know what I mean? Because maybe they won't get to the actual underlying cause. Like for example, I had anxiety and I had panic attacks, right? And my therapist was always like, what caused it? What triggered it? And at first I'd be like, oh, I think he was overthinking. And then slowly I would randomly sit there watching TV and I'm not thinking about anything completely and I'll have an attack. So explain to me what caused that. Do you know what I mean? So I would go there frustrated, and the thing is, like, we sit there and expect them to have answers for us, which they don't, and which they might not have. You know what I mean? The only thing they will tell you or help you with is give you techniques on how to deal with it. And for me personally, I obviously didn't go to all the sessions, but I just found like it was very pointless. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
So ever since you stopped going to therapy, what have you done to kind of work?
Okay, so what happened was, oh goodness.
If you don't want to talk about
If
it,
you don't want to
okay.
say it,
No, it's fine. So, okay. I mean, alright, let me start from the beginning. Okay, so something that I studied about anxiety, by the way, this was the funniest thing, and I learned about the symptoms and the treatments and whatnot, and I didn't realize I was going through it. You know what I mean? Because I was literally overlooking all the symptoms that I had, and by the time I actually went to my GP, my anxiety was severe. So like, and the symptoms are literally like, it kind of overlaps with every other illness that's out there, like randomly feeling dizzy, stomach aches, going to the toilet. I used to have a lot of takeaways, so I used to be like, I think it was that takeaway from the other night, but it wasn't. That was all the anxiety. And then once I went to the GP, he was like, so when I went was when I first experienced my panic attack, and it was quite a scary experience. Like, I didn't know what it was. I don't know if I spoke to Ifra about it.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was literally dying. Like, you can't breathe.
There's people that have died from it.
Yeah, you literally can't breathe at all. Like, through your mouth, through your nose, you cannot breathe for like, I don't know how many seconds or a minute, but you can't. And so obviously I went to the GP and he said it's got quite severe. So he was telling me, so I obviously Googled it, and I went to the GP and said, I think I've got anxiety. And he goes like, why? Why do you think that? And I was like, I feel like this, I feel like that. And he goes, how long have you been feeling this? So I'm like, for a while now, but I just kind of thought it was this or that or this. And then he's like, oh, so what's the issue now? I'm like, I've been experiencing like panic attacks. I had it like twice, and it always happened at night. So yeah, so then he booked me in, and actually I had one right in front of him, and he goes, yeah, it's quite bad, because even by me speaking about it, I was getting it. So yeah, so then he referred me obviously to the therapist, and they got back to me like 6 months later. And that whole period before they got back to me, I literally felt like I was dying every single day. Literally, it's like mini death, like dying and coming back. So then I thought, let me try and help myself, like, you know what I mean, in the meantime. So obviously there's social anxiety or whatnot. So I thought, like, let me go out and see if that's what it is. So I forced myself to be in like social situations, and I still had it. Then I was at home and I'll still have it. So it got to the point where I couldn't leave my house because I was having panic attacks everywhere. Like, I couldn't even go to the corner shop. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. It isolates you, totally isolates you. You don't have the social life that you had before. Like, for me personally, I feel like I'm a totally different person now. Like, I don't even remember who I was before. Like, I was a social butterfly. Like, I was everywhere, right? And yeah, I forgot the point of me telling the story. What was it?
It was about how you said basically therapy.
Oh yeah, so then there was a point where my anxiety turned into depression, because for me, I was always either in school, college, uni, or working. So now I'm put in a situation where I'm not doing nothing, and I felt so worthless, so helpless, because there was nothing I could do, because all the GP said was either we'll prescribe you like a medication, and I didn't want that, because your body gets used to that, and I wouldn't be able to like live life that way, like with medication. So I was like, no, I'll just wait for the therapy. So yeah, so then obviously it turned into depression, and it got really, really bad, and it did make me feel like suicidal. So I felt, and then somehow that day I just happened to go on YouTube, and I saw an Islamic lecture on it. Weird enough. So I was like, you know what, like, let me get up. I had a shower, I prayed, and I just felt some sort of inner peace within myself. You know what I mean? So then I started praying and whatnot, and I told my mom all I needed to do this whole time was pray. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So yeah.
I didn't know that, man. I didn't know like all these illnesses like feed off each other, you know?
They do. Yeah.
So what would your advice be to people going through it right now?
People that are going through it?
Yeah, right now.
I feel like speaking about it is a start, because another thing is, because I didn't know what I was going through, and people around me didn't know how to support me. I feel like for the person that's going through it, reach out, and for the person that's going to get that phone call, read about it and try be there for the person. Do you know what I mean? and like and try praying.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to dealing with this kind of stuff, it's different for everyone. The
It
way
is different.
I deal with something is not going to be the same for the other person. So you just need to find a way that works for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the same way Rahma found a way that worked for her. I feel like, yeah, everyone should kind of... It's a journey, but it's
And I
worth...
feel like as well as praying, like keep going to therapy, because I stopped and I only had like 2-3 techniques, and I still go through it every day. It's not as bad as it was before, but I still don't know how to deal with it as much as I'm praying. Do you know what I'm saying? So keep going to therapy and pray too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and also like, and I actually know someone who got through a lot, trying to like probably kill themselves and stuff. The things they also say is that what people don't understand is even if you're trying to like talk to someone and you tell them how you feel and stuff, they will try to like tell you, oh, it's because of this, just try to do this, like, you don't know, and I wish I can do that, you get me?
Yeah.
So instead
I
of you
feel
trying
like
to tell
it's-
them, oh,
yeah.
do that, it's because of this or that, just listen and try to understand
Mhm.
and see, like,
I
just
feel
be
like
just be there for that
you need
person.
to be really careful what you're saying to this
Yeah.
person.
It's just the
Really,
things you
really
say,
careful, because it could be whatever you say that will tip them off to really commit suicide. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to try to give the person hope. Just listen. If you don't know what to say, listen. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all the person needs, to be honest. And if
I'll
you,
give them a hug, yeah, like I said before. Just
yeah,
7 seconds.
or
7
just
seconds.
try learn about what they're talking about. Just
Yeah.
be like, I totally get you. Because in that process, what people don't get is, some people ask you like, how would you get to a point where you want to kill yourself? The
Yeah,
crazy thing
that's
is,
what they think. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not you. That's not your state of mind. Like, the normal you wouldn't think that. Why don't you ask yourself, like, what is causing this person to get to this point? Like, what's going on in the head? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Has anyone here ever been suicidal? Or...
No, no.
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 It's crazy. But I feel like, and it's so easy for a lot of people to talk on it. They're like, oh, if I would never go through that. Like, you're probably weak, or I'm too strong to go through that.
No.
Wait till it tests you,
Yeah.
literally.
But we don't want that for no one, all that.
No,
No,
of
no,
course.
definitely not.
Yeah.
Because it's not something
It's, yeah,
nice. Do you know what I mean? It kind of like messes up with your life as well.
it does. It really does.
Well, we need to like, because there was someone that was close to me that was going through it for a while, for a very long time. It actually gets to the person that's with the other person or that's around the other person, you know?
Yeah.
Because if someone's going through depression and you're the closest person to them, it's gonna be on you.
Yeah.
Everything is on you,
No.
literally. How that person feels and anything, like, it's gonna be on you. And that's a really hard thing on yourself as
Yeah,
well,
100%.
because that person can't right now think for themselves or can't, you know what I mean, do anything.
I feel like
No,
it's because
honestly-
you're looking at the other person thinking, save me, literally
Yeah,
save
that-
me from the state I'm in. You know
No,
what I mean?
Yeah.
but to be honest, like, okay, so let's say someone came to me and talked to me about how depressed they are. I can do as much as I can to help.
Mhm.
And if they're suicidal, I can, like, do you know what I mean, talk them out of it, whatever, the most I can do. But if that person goes out there and commits suicide, I don't think we should blame the person, like a friend or anyone.
No, that's
No,
not what I'm
not
saying.
at all. No, that's
No,
not what he's
that's
saying.
not what I'm saying. I'm
He's saying
as
that
in-
if somebody that's suicidal or depressed, if you're literally in a relationship or in a friendship with them, it's hard for you. But even coming from somebody that's dealt
I
with
think if you're like, married to that person and stuff, yeah, and the best thing you can do is try, like, just be there and be like, we'll be saying, okay, we'll do everything that you also, like, feel comfortable with, and like, let's try find helps as well. I'll be there, not like, I'll be right there with you and stuff. You're not gonna go through this like, all alone and stuff.
Yeah.
Just you being there for that person will actually help as well. So like, see her saying, oh, I got someone right there that's like really worried about me as well. You
Yeah,
get me? They will
definitely.
actually,
You know what it is? I feel like
Yeah.
how long can somebody be there for you? 'Cause,
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because
Because it ultimately affects the other person now
Yeah,
as
it
well.
does, it
Totally,
does.
like, emotionally drains them. Because every single day you're here on the phone listening to the other person talking about how shit they feel, like, all these feelings constantly every single day. So
Yeah.
by the
also-
end of it, the other person's affected. And
Also,
even
when
coming
time-
from
yeah,
go on.
finish it.
And even coming from somebody that like went through it, it got to the point where I felt like, is it a
You're
lot?
bothering people.
Yeah, you literally feel like a
Yeah.
burden on
Yeah.
someone else, totally. Because it's every day, like, because you're living it every day for like weeks or months, and it's just endless. Like you just feel like, oh, maybe they're tired of me. And if they don't answer the phone call, you're thinking, oh, they don't want to hear it. You know
It's
what
not. I would. What I learned about that situation is, the other person needs to know when to take a break. I'd say,
Who's the other person?
as in like the person that's not the person that's got the illness, but the other person that's trying to help out and do their best. I think you should know when to take a break in a way of, because that person's like Googled it and stuff, but in a way of like this person's coming to you, like this person is basically like a child in their head, like they don't know what's good for them, or because you're coming to them and you're giving them advice, or you're just listening to them, But
They're not
if
really a child.
not in like a child ways, but like
Vulnerable.
Yeah,
He's
but
saying
it's
right
so
now, yeah, they
vulnerable.
don't
Like
know what they're-
anything you say is so dangerous and so
Exactly.
triggering,
Mhm.
So you need to you're on that phone call, or like if you stay quiet for so long, they're like, why not talking,
Mhm.
so you can't.
We also have
You're
like
stuck.
Yeah.
our people sometimes as well. Like we kind of take it like a bit jokey as well. Sometimes like say something joke or something. You get me?
Yeah, don't take it
So
seriously.
yeah, it's just a thing you say.
I feel like where's the balance? I feel like it's just hard for the person
Everyone,
that's
yeah.
going through it and also the person on the receiving end, because the other person's always gonna think, oh, like they're always gonna expect you to be there, but
Yeah.
you do need a break as well.
Yeah,
what I
that's what
mean?
I'm saying.
So what else do you think can trigger like mental illness? Do you think drug can like?
Yeah, drug does. Like
Yeah.
like a lot of cases with schizophrenia comes from drugs,
Yeah.
or even depression,
Like drugs.
actually
when you say what?
anxiety,
Like weed
it's
and
everything, I guess.
I feel like we don't have it that much in our community here, but I
Or
feel like
maybe
in
we don't
other,
see it,
yeah, we probably don't see it, definitely.
or the person doesn't know they're experiencing it.
But people that do weed right now, they
They're
can develop
paranoid.
schizophrenia,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be genetic in their kids as well.
Mhm.
Mostly
Mhm.
people that do drugs right now could be their kids could develop schizophrenia.
And some people are
Dangerous.
genetically, literally prone to pick up illness. It's just a matter of time. Like, you could have some sort of like, it's genetics in it. Like, you could have like a type of gene that's prone to picking up a type of illness.
Mm.
But now, because you're exposed to it and you're doing it, it's triggered. Do you know what I mean?
But
no,
then you
no
think-
one's just aware of it.
Don't you think sometimes maybe it's the drugs that trigger it for the most part? Especially like weed it makes you paranoid and
Yeah,
all
but
these
that's
things.
what I'm saying. Like, you have genetic thingy. You're genetically prone to pick it up.
Yeah.
So if you go and do that, that's the trigger itself.
Do we have?
There's no topics on that.
I also
So,
want to
like
say,
you
like,
said-
when someone is diagnosed with some sort of mental health problem, I feel like the community is so quick to like label them,
Crazy.
Yeah.
like
Mm,
label
like
them,
that.
put them down,
Mhm.
like
I think they make it worse.
yeah, they do make it worse because it's like, oh yeah, like Maratu or something like that, like, and it's so bad. I feel like because it's like, I feel like it comes from their ignorance because they don't know, and yeah.
And you know what? I think like when I went back to Ethiopia, I did see these people that were suffering from like mental health problems. Like there were people speaking, like talking to themselves or whatnot, and that's schizophrenia. Like I can't diagnose them obviously, but
Symptoms.
if they were here, they would have got help. They have drugs to control that. Like maybe they would have had a chance for a life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but back home they're
But
called
they-
Maratha
yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, like them people they see on the streets walking
Yeah.
around naked and whatnot.
And it's
they're
the same
called
with
Maratha.
even people with learning disabilities.
Right.
It's like it's a shame, it's embarrassing, or you feel like you're gonna get discriminated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got isolated from the community, and it shouldn't be like that. It's happened. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I feel like with us right now, our generation, like we can help ourselves. Like we understand all these things and we can see it, and we, do you know what I mean? We've been through it, we can understand everything. But how can we help the older generation, like our moms and our dads and whatnot? Like what can we do for them? Do you know what I mean? To help.
I feel like just having conversations about it. Like for me, for example, obviously, I think we only had that conversation because I was going through it.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes we really undermine, like, or just sort of just assume they wouldn't understand.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Automatically, like, oh, they won't get it, but they actually do.
I don't think it's that. I
They
think
will want the best for you, trust me.
back home, what they do with people that are mentally ill literally is
With
they
them.
tie them up, you know,
And I whip them.
by the ankle, yeah, for years. I've seen this documentary on CBBC.
Yeah, they do.
And in Somalia, they tie them up for years, and the person just there saying, "Help me, please. I need," you know, talking to the cameraman, and the cameraman's like saying, "This person clearly mentally ill," and there's people that have been tied up for probably 15 years plus, you know. And if your parent is literally hearing you say, "Mom, I'm mentally ill," or anything like
That's
that,
what
you
they
know,
associate
they're
to.
scared to tie you up.
It's a sense of deniability. Like, they don't want to think my
Yeah.
child is crazy, you know?
Mm.
They don't want to accept that. Like, one thing my mom did say to me, I hope she knows what she missed, but she was like, "Don't act crazy." You know, like, but that's just a thing for them.
Yeah.
They don't realize the effects it has on you. They don't realize what you are going through. But the thing is, with my mom, she played a big part in me getting better. Even though she didn't know what it was, she goes, "Did that thing come back?" And the thing she's talking about is my anxiety.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I used to be like, "No, I'm better now." And she'll like constantly ask. I feel like just having that kind of conversation, if you're going through it, but like, "Mom, this is what it is." You know what I mean? Thank you guys for watching. I hope I have somehow encouraged you guys to go speak about your problems, whether it's medically or to a friend or a family. And inshallah, it all helps. And yeah, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget to
Hopefully-
subscribe.
Hopefully, yeah, it's beneficial. Like, do you know what I mean? We did try to touch up on everything, but with the short time we have, this is the most we can do. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, as she said, make sure you seek help when you're feeling down. Anything, like any little thing, make sure you go talk to someone because it can help a lot. It can make a big difference.
Yeah, and also make sure like the things that you say to the other person as well, like you have to pay attention to it. Like don't just say stuff.
And
So
don't feel
that-
alone.
Yeah.
Don't feel alone. There's literally like 1 in 4 people that are going through what you're going through nationwide. So don't feel like you're on your own and seek help.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, share to your friends. Let us know what you want to see. This, the season is coming to end. Give us a content that we're gonna do for you guys.
Anyone, just
Inshallah,
comment something.
There's gonna be more coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll appreciate you guys engaging in the comment
Thank you,
section.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for the support.
Bye.